Yeah, it's nice, these small drawings that here you can see them more one-on-one. That's one mostly kinds when they too small in ordinary catalog. It's my grandson Aiden. My daughter Helena when she was small, about the age that he is now. Yeah, and the beauty of the human body. And the skull, our real face that's underneath all our makeup. Yeah, I thought this simplicity, just like you have an elongated neck, the skull is not realistic in the sense of, or naturalistic, and it relates to the edge in its own way. Candle, two gods. I find it a very monumental work. This is again not in this sense, it came out of working with the paint. It was not that I said, oh, I want to make two big male organs. The paint went that way. I threw the paint, and out of the shapes, this seemed to be what it wanted to be. So I really like this work a lot, because there's a vulnerability, but there's also this monumental aspects the bottle, that's so fantastic about them. They are so small, but they are also so, monumental. I don't know if that's, what the right word is, but they, you can imagine them as big or as small as you want. It's my son-in-law, and Aiden. And, here you see again how there's almost, no elements of eyes and mouth and ears, no ears. Yeah, friend Luana, mask. I have been also working on the fact of not using paintings or real people as models, but sculptural, like for example, Cycladic Blues is also, comes from a sculpture and not a painting as a model. When I started to think about the Cycladic Museum and my contribution to it, I started with the fragmented or the drawings of fragments from all different times. But then I also thought, what about the paintings that I will combine with these? And because, actually, this exhibition, I think, ended up as an exhibition about time and ages and the seasons of one's life. You have beginning, And then you have youth and trying to be seductive and attractive. And you have, getting older and in between you betray others or others attack you. I mean, not personally necessarily, but, and the wars and the situation of the world, which I have not directly confronted in this exhibition. Although the atmosphere, if you look at these last works, the atmosphere of this time where democracy, which the Greeks are known for, are in a bad shape, dialogue is almost, the whole art of really listening, changing your mind, finding a truth that seems to also be somehow really not being appreciated in our times. And there's horrible wars going on and injustice. But as I say, I haven't directly confronted it in this exhibition, but although I keep on saying this is probably a bit of a self-portrait. This one is called Old. I'm old. Phantom age. You don't know what your age, how the difference between the physical age and the spiritual age, and things that are timeless. All these elements come together. But maybe, she would look less anxious and desperate if we weren't living in this unhappy times. But the Greeks is the inventors of tragedy. In these last two works that I made, especially for, but indeed thinking of the space of the Cycladic Museum and the space of myself, where I am at this moment, the process of this one, there is no brush, the face wasn't brushed in, or, it was in one go where you had to control the paint. And so this is a very different process of this painting here, which I'll talk about just now. It's called 50 plus. When I was 50, I thought, then people say, oh, you're old. But, now that you're 70, then that's another age. But this painting, for example, so as I say, that one doesn't have a naturalistic face. You imagine it, it's much more suggestive. And that one actually, the body was mostly, this part was done in one go with the flow of the pouring of the paint on the floor for the canvas, but she did not have a face. So the face actually was I have this stops and starts where some things are done very quickly and other things are redone, so it's not all only emotion and intuition. There is this, this type of movements of different reactions to the paint and things happening in your thinking. It's interesting to see the scale when you can see them together. 2, 3, 4, 6, and 9. There's 9 drawings here. And yeah, but this one is from 2001. So that is already 24 years ago then. And this one from 1994. Not always sure with me with the dates. 2000. Anyway, here we are. This is one of my favorites. These drawings were in my drawers for a long time, and I put them away and just left them because they came from stages of other drawings. And and I like the fact that they are so simple, relatively simple. And mostly I don't paint painting without a head. But in a drawing, it's different. Somehow in a drawing, the visuals work differently. This one. And sometimes, I have to admit also, sometimes they're not all of the same nature, because sometimes you have also a bit of humor and cartoon-like elements. Like this one is called Jesus Looking for His Cross. And this comes from a group of works where I was looking at all the gestures of Jesus through the ages in the Western, to use that word, culture. And here Jesus looks a bit lost himself. But then, and for example, I have this one, Whatever Happened to the Greeks? And I think it was lovely that the Greeks had a more, can one call it homoerotic culture? And so this guy, he's smiling. And it's not a judgment, it's actually, we all got so stiff and worried about eroticism, and and it's a pity, I find, that we've lost certain, anyway, it's not a big story. It's, you should. But I just want to explain, this is a different type of drawing. This is done also in a more cartoon-like way than, for example, something like this. But so there will be a variation of older and different stages of drawings in the show.